but I don't think we're that much different actually, just Namibians and Americans. It was good, but you kind of see the difference. Like here, I would say people are like more friendly, man. Like you can go up to anybody and they'll just talk to you. But there it's like still like part of segregation, because there was a lot of that here, where the black people had to stay in one area, and so they do talk about it. My grandmother as well. Like she shows us where they had to stay. And
Nice, man.
So I'm here in Namibia. I'm here with a local person. How are you doing today?
good, how are you doing?
I'm excellent, thank you. First off, I'm from the States, from the US. Have you met many Black Americans here in Namibia?
Not really, no. But I had last year. I had somebody come stay with us from the US actually. She's from my church, and she came to stay with us for a while. Yeah, she's a Black American as well.
Okay, and it was her first time coming? Okay, so what was that like, that exchange of cultures?
No, it was good showing her around here. Yeah. And we brought her here as well to this place as well.
Do you know what part of the America she's from?
Not really sure, but I think she was from Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, she did.
Did you notice any differences between like the way that she behaves or different cultural things that maybe she asked you about, like, hey, why do you guys do this?
Not really, but I don't think we're that much different actually, just Namibians and Americans. Maybe just like the price differences, where you'll see like the exchange rates that were a little bit confusing when you first get here.
Okay.
And maybe slang words that were confusing for us.
Yeah, you guys have a few words that I wasn't familiar with. I don't know if there's anything that we say that you guys may not like really understand.
Not really, because we see those things, on social media. We see those slang words. Yeah.
That's right. So I gotta ask you one thing that I've noticed here in Namibia. A lot of people say "ne."
Yeah.
Explain that to people, because they may not understand that if they're coming here to visit.
Okay, so it's just basically like saying right. Like you'll just say, "You're coming today, Mos." Ne. Like you just add it. Right.
Yeah, the first couple times I heard it, I was like, did I hear what I think I heard? And then I heard it again, someone else did, and I was like, okay, this is the thing here. It's not just one person who's kind of strange. Like, okay, this is it's just a cultural thing. Okay, are there any other words like that you guys?
We say Mos a lot. It's also Mos. Yeah.
Okay, like M-O-S?
Yeah, it's just like, you're coming Mos. Like just add. Also right, it's basically the same thing.
Okay, so it's just like a confirmation.
Yeah, confirmation.
Okay, so I'm trying to think in the States like what we would do for that. I know there's a word we have that's similar like that. I don't know. I'm drawing a blank. Whenever like they put you on the spot, it's like your brain just freezes. But yeah, I definitely understand like the context, the way that you can use it.
And words like na,
Za.
na.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like,
I'm gonna spit if I do it. I'm not even gonna try it.
it just means like something is nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can you use it like in an example?
Oh, this is na.
Okay, this is nah.
Oh, this food is
It's like nah.
Yeah.
Okay. That takes practice, guys. Don't try this at home. Hit that like button. I'm putting in work out here. I swear to y'all, I'm putting in work. And just stay tuned. Got more coming. So, other than English, what other languages do you speak?
Me, myself, or just here?
You, in particular.
I speak mainly English and Afrikaans.
Okay.
But I'm a Herero and a Nama, which is like tribes that we have here.
So you're one parent is one tribe and the other parent is the other tribe. Okay.
So I understand those languages a bit as well, but I don't really speak them.
Okay, got you. So like for example, when you're at home and you're with family, are you guys speaking in English or Afrikaans, or like which language would be the primary one?
We speak like English and Afrikaans, but mainly English.
Okay, primarily English.
It just depends which family I'm with, and then yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. You grew up here in the capital or somewhere else?
I was born in the south of the country, and then I moved here, but like still early, like when I was like around 2 or 3. So I basically grew up here, but I go to the south a lot.
Okay. Someone told me that in the south that there are a lot of Nama people.
Yeah, that's why, because I'm Nama as well.
Is that from your mom's side or your dad's side?
My mom's side.
Okay. So you had that upbringing more or less. Okay. And you came here just for university or for another reason?
My mom, she she found work here. So
Okay.
yeah.
And you were already a teenager at that point?
No, I was still young.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, still young.
Got you. What was that like to transition from?
But for me, it wasn't really a transition because I still like. It's easier to move because I was young, so I
Yeah.
really wasn't a change for me.
So easier to adapt when you're younger. That makes sense. That makes sense.
But it's just like in the south is more, how should I say, like rural, man. It's just like in the capital there's a lot of people, there's a lot of buildings. In the south it's kind of like not like that, and the roads it's just like sand, you know.
Okay. So it's not the infrastructure isn't like it is here in the capital. Can you tell me, for example, what is one? Well, first off, I don't know. Have you traveled to any other countries other than Namibia?
Yeah, I was in Europe last year as well, actually. I went to the Netherlands, and I've been to South Africa, and then just Botswana.
Okay. And were you studying in the Netherlands or?
No, it was just like a school trip.
School trip
Yeah.
for a week or something?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. And what were your impressions of the Netherlands?
It was good, but you kind of see the difference. Like here, I would say people are like more friendly, man. Like you can go up to anybody and they'll just talk to you. But there, it's like
It would be weird.
Yeah. Just go
Yeah, they
to
make you
anybody.
feel more awkward if you're a little bit too outgoing there. That's interesting.
And also the price difference. Like things are expensive there.
Were you in a big city or a smaller area?
We went to both a smaller area and then Amsterdam. So I saw the difference kind of. And
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, even for Americans, like Amsterdam is quite expensive, and you know the space is very limited too. So I was there just a couple years ago, and I was in the capital and then some other like smaller cities as well. It's a cool place to visit, but I don't think I would want to live there. I like the bike system though, like just to be able to ride a bike and like have a lane where you're not with the cars and everything. It's a really good idea.
Yeah, I saw that as well, and it was like it wouldn't work here because
No, it's not set up for that. Yeah, the thing, the reason it works in the Netherlands is because it's a small country and it's so flat. So you never have to worry about hills or all these other kind of things, and yeah, it's a benefit there.
Yeah.
And you said you've been to South Africa as well. Which cities?
I went to Cape Town. Yeah, I was just in Cape Town, and like next to Cape Town, the areas around Cape Town.
Okay. I'm planning to go to Cape Town. So,
Cape Town is nice.
So what would, okay, you had good impressions there. Okay. And sorry.
South Africa and Namibia are kind of similar actually, the people and everything.
I had a feeling of that because I was at the National History Museum earlier, and I learned about how, like, for one time they were kind of connected. You know, like the South African government was like running things here. So I can see the, you know, the closeness between the two countries.
There was apartheid, like that's what they call it. So yeah, that was in South Africa. Was still ruling us kind of.
Do your parents ever talk about those times?
Yeah, but they weren't really. I guess they were still like part of segregation because there was a lot of that here, where the black people had to stay in one area, and you know, so they do talk about it. My grandmother as well. Like she shows us where they had to stay and things like that. Yeah, and my grandfather.
Yeah, it's really impactful when it's someone that you're related to. You know, like you can read about it in a book or something, but when you get a story from your grandmom or grandfather, you know, it really hits home. And it's the same in the States. We didn't actually have apartheid, but we had segregation, we had Jim Crow. I don't know if you learned about any of these things. Yeah. So it was actually quite similar, even though we're in very different parts of the world. It's a global system that, you know, unfortunately was very strong back then, and it's only now starting to get a little bit weaker, more open. Anything that you would like to share with?
Just about Namibia?
Or anything. You know, if you have a question for me too, you can ask me something.
Let me think. Have you seen any differences in the South? Any differences between Namibia and America?
Oh yeah. So actually, you know what surprised me was how many similarities that I've actually seen here, because you're not familiar with my channel probably, but I've traveled so far through about 11 African countries, and they're all very different. That's one thing that a lot of Americans and just people in general who've never been to Africa before, they kind of think it's all one thing. Like it's all Nigeria or like it's all Kenya. Like, no, it's completely different. You know, Angola is Angola, Namibia is Namibia. You know, and it has nothing to do with Madagascar or Egypt. Like, it's just vastly different, right? So out of the 11 countries I've been to, this one is the one that feels the most like America. So I was mainly doing like East Africa, like Kenya, Uganda, Burundi, all those countries, and they have a different feeling, you know, very, very different. But when I came here, I was just like, this looks familiar, that looks familiar. The weather to me is even familiar. In the southwest of the U.S., you have like Nevada, you have Arizona, you know, Las Vegas, Phoenix. Those areas have the same kind of weather, like very dry, but also very hot. So to me, like this, it just feels like home a lot. And then the fact that here, everyone speaks really good English versus some of those other countries, they speak it, but the accent is really, really strong. And sometimes if I speak at my normal speed, they don't understand me. And sometimes I don't understand them. When here, I haven't really had that problem.
That's true. But maybe it's because, you know, people say that it can't be, but because we were colonized by the British, you know, it
True.
could be that we. And most schools here, we use the Cambridge system. So in school, we're kind of taught like how the British are taught. Maybe that's why also.
Yeah. So you guys have like all your teachers are also native English speakers. It's not like they just kind of know English and they're teaching it to you. It's like they really know it. They really live the language. Yeah, that makes a big difference. I've noticed. Have you been to the coast here?
Yeah, I have been to the coast a few times.
Okay. I was just there over the weekend.
Was it good?
Yeah, it also reminded me of the States. It reminded me of California so much.
Yeah. But now it's a little bit emptier. Like during December, Christmas time, it's really full there.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go then. I was like, let me wait till New Year's ends and then I'm gonna go because
everybody's there.
Yeah, I'm sure the traffic and everything was just out of control. So one thing that surprised me too about Namibia is that it's very much a car culture. Because like you've been to the Netherlands, you've seen that like people don't use cars that much. They have a lot of like, you know, trains, they have a lot of walking, a lot of bicycles and stuff. So do you have a driver's license here?
I don't have one yet, but I could get one. But it's just still, yeah, when you turn 17, you can get a learner's license.
Okay, I was going to ask that next.
You can get a learner's license, and then when you turn 18, you can go get your driver's license.
Okay. So in the States, it's similar. When we're 15, we can get the learner's license. That's what I did. Like most Americans, I think 15 or 16. And then you can get like your full license at 17. It depends, some states are different. Some you can get it at 16, but like the full license generally, 17, you can do whatever you want.
So that's young. It's like, also what's surprising is like in the States you get like teenagers who work and stuff, like 16-year-olds who work already.
I worked at 14. Like seriously.
Yeah, you won't find that. Maybe like 18, then you can like go work.
Sure. Yeah, I think the thing about the States too is that like every state makes their own rules. So like the state I was in when I was 14, I could work, but other states it was 18, and then other states it's 16. So it really depends on where you're at. Yeah. So I don't want to get too deep, but like, where do you see the country going, Namibia, in the next couple of years?
I think the country's still a developing country, you know, we're still developing with a lot of things like electricity and stuff, because even electricity, we mainly get it from South Africa.
Okay.
So yeah.
And they have issues right now.
Yeah,
they have issues.
But yeah, and so when the green hydrogen stuff.
We're almost done.
With green hydrogen, you can like see that the country's kind of developing because we're doing green hydrogen. So basically using hydrogen to like get electricity and water and all of those stuff.
To diversify a little bit,
that's
like
where
the energy sources. Okay.
That's where the country's going.
That's really good. I didn't know that before. So any last thing you have for me?
But okay, with the exchange rate, do you find things cheaper here?
Than America? Yeah, I definitely find it cheaper than America, but if I was to compare it to some of the East African countries that I left, I would say it's maybe a little bit more expensive. Like a little bit. So like for example, I want to put it in U.S. prices because that's the only way I really think. So I'll say if I was to go to a kind of medium level restaurant here, maybe you would pay like $15 US for some beef and whatever else, some noodles, I don't know. And maybe in those countries it would be $11, $12. So it's just a little bit more expensive for some things. I feel like taxis, Uber is about the same as Kenya or Uganda and some other countries. So I think overall, you know what? I will say here, I think the housing is cheaper. So the places that I'm staying at here, for example, I feel like if I was staying in that same kind of level of accommodation in another country, in Africa that I've been to, it would be like an extra $150 a month, maybe even $200 more a month. So I feel like once you balance it out like that, if you're a traveler like me, you're kind of breaking even all across Africa that I've seen. So, but yeah, if you compare it to the States, it's much cheaper. Everything is cheaper in the States, almost, unless we're talking about Switzerland or All right, well, thank you for your time, and until next time, this is your guy Jay Focus, reminding you to stay focused.
Such thing as a life that's better than your
Focus, man.